All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Seattle Seahawks in tonight's video. Folks, you're leading the NFC West. That was an absolutely huge victory yesterday afternoon against the Arizona Cardinals. It actually technically increased the postseason odds to 23%. It also increased winning the division odds to 19%. I get it, that sounds extremely grim, but keep in mind 2 weeks ago, and stats are stats, first off. Stats are stats, who cares? 2 weeks ago, the Seattle Seahawks were dead last in the NFC West, and they have now come off back-to-back victories on the road against the San Francisco 49ers and yesterday at home against the Arizona Cardinals. And we haven't made a Seahawks video in so long, and I apologize for that, guys. We'll talk about that in just a second here. But I made a comment earlier on in the season or in the offseason or something like that, and I was just kind of saying, the biggest issue with the Seattle Seahawks, like, they keep finishing 9-8. It always comes down to divisional play. And it specifically more so comes down to losing back-to-back games against San Francisco 49ers. And like we just mentioned, and as you guys saw 2 weeks ago, you guys beat San Francisco. My Green Bay Packers just embarrassed them. And it is, kind of feels like San Francisco is treading downhill. Kind of feels like they're treading for water here. Feels like they're a little bit too old. Maybe they missed their championship window. They got to do a little bit of a reboot. So the point with Seattle heading into the season was not 12 wins. It wasn't Super Bowl expectations. Now, I'm a little bit old school, and I like to believe if you make the playoffs, anybody can win, any team on any given Sunday. But you get the point here. This is a long-term plan with Mike Macdonald as your brand new head coach. So, folks, before we get any further into tonight's video, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Seahawks fans, I apologize so much, man. My last Seahawks video, I believe, was after your first loss to San Francisco a month ago at least, at the time of this recording. And I apologize. I wish people watched my videos when teams lose. I wish people watched videos when your team loses, but it just doesn't happen. So I apologize. We're definitely going to be making a lot more Seattle Seahawks content because either way, it's unacceptable. But folks, if we try and get this video to 250 likes, guys, that would mean more than you can understand. So it's not perfect. For example, Seattle, 33 minutes time of possession, 7 of 14 third down efficiency. They had 295 yards of offense. The running game is just horrid right now. Seattle actually hasn't scored more than 20 points since week 7. Really bad statistic. Yesterday, 9 full drives, only put up 10 offensive points after the Kobe Bryant pick 6. Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet just have not been able to get the ground game going. Ryan Grubb, your offensive coordinator, the Seahawks, Achilles heel right now is their ground game. It just cannot get it going. Yesterday, 65 yards on 25 total carries. Geno had 3 of those, but Ken Walker, 16 carries for 41 yards, averaging 2.6 yards per carry. Zach Charbonnet, 6 carries for 22 yards. Seattle's running backs have not combined to reach 100 yards on the ground since week 3. So once again, zoom out. The point here is to make the playoffs. That is the point. When you fire a head coach and you fire your coordinators and you bring in a brand new staff, the point is to make the playoffs and get this franchise back on track. But the run game definitely needs to be much better. I believe you guys are the 28th ranked rush offense in the National Football League, and it's just crazy because let me check my stats. Let me check my depth chart. I have Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. There is no way, shape, or form Seattle should be the 28th ranked offense in the running department. On designed runs, Seattle's 31st in yards, 28th in EPA per play, and 27th in success rate. And technically, Geno Smith leads the league with 12 interceptions. He's also thrown 5 in his last 3 games. I get it. That's not a great statistic, but most of that's just bad luck. But then, the big thing with Geno Smith is he's such a talented quarterback. He really is. But there's always one play every single football game that pretty much every game Geno plays in, where it's just like, why? Why did that have to happen? And in yesterday's case, it was another red zone interception. But the point is, to me, you just took down one of the hottest teams in the National Football League at home in the Arizona Cardinals. But we were saying, if you can take care of divisional games, you got 2 left, Rams and Arizona in a couple of weeks. If you can win both of those, both BOAF, the Seattle Seahawks will certainly make the playoffs. And one big thing that Seattle has in their favor is the defense. And that's why Mike McDonald was hired to be the Seattle Seahawks head coach in the offseason. And he's done a really good job. And, people love to bring up that losing streak, losses to San Francisco, losses to Buffalo, the Rams, the Giants. Most of those games, Seattle was absolutely decimated on their defensive line. I remember one of those games. I can't remember if it was against I think it was against the Giants. Maybe it was against the Rams, but I believe it was the Giants. The Seahawks were missing like 7 starters. They got the injury bug early on, and it just never really went away for a little bit of time, but now they're starting to get healthy. And the Seahawks defense entered their bye week allowing 24.6 points per game. They've only surrendered 23 total points in their back-to-back wins now against the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. Yesterday, for example, Seattle got to Kyler Murray, who, by the way, I don't need to tell you, is a really difficult quarterback to sack. You sacked him 5 freaking times. 5 times. James Conner, one of the most consistent running backs in the National Football League this season, had 8 total yards on only 7 carries. The Cardinals previously, entering that game, had scored touchdowns on all 16 of their goal-to-go drives this season through 11 weeks. No, their team had converted more than 89. They did not have an offensive touchdown. Once again, coming off the bye, Arizona, one of the hottest teams in the league, winning 4 straight football games, did not have an offensive touchdown or a touchdown just in general. Leonard Williams. People ragged Seattle a little over a year ago for trading Leonard Williams, and then they got ragged for paying Leonard Williams. Well, yesterday he demonstrated why Leonard Williams is on the Seattle Seahawks. He had 4 total quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks, and also a tackle for loss on a run play. Kobe Bryant, we mentioned the interception. Devin Witherspoon emerging as one of the best cornerbacks already in the National Football League. And even just speaking, like, he's the reason Kobe Bryant had that pick 6. Devin Witherspoon loves to hit. We know he loves to hit. And he's just had a really good season. But even just speaking of sophomore campaign players, JSN's turned into, since our last Seahawks video on this channel, JSN has turned into literally one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. Yesterday, 6 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. On the season, he has 66 catches for 755 yards and 4 touchdowns. How do you like that, Shane Waldron? How do you like that? Guys, that's it for today. Kind of a rapid reaction. We'll definitely get another Seahawks video for you guys until this upcoming weekend. Thank you so much for watching, man. I'm sorry we didn't make any Seahawks videos in the last month or so. I really do apologize. But hopefully you guys are still here. And yeah, hit that like button, hit that sub button. But guys, most importantly, give me your thoughts on this 6-5 Seattle Seahawks team down below. Peace.